Hi guys, welcome back to the Player YouTube channel, and as a one-off special this week we're at the London Classic Car Show, and it's at Olympia this year, an iconic place which many exhibitions have been held at. We're going to take a look around the show, give you some of the highlights, and one of them, in my opinion, probably the best car in the world, is sitting right behind me. So here we are, and we're with a Dodge Viper. Can you believe that? Look at this, absolutely amazing. And I'm with Mark Kidman. Mark.
Nice to meet you, Andy.
Lovely to meet you, mate. Mark, what's your involvement with this car?
Right, well, this is my own personal car. I've got to say, I bought this over from Sacramento, Northern California. Bought it over in 2008, so I've had it I'm the third owner of it. For my sins, I'm also the UK president of the Dodge Viper Owners Club, which is known as the VOA, Viper Owners Association.
Fantastic. And I mean, you've been involved in this for many years, or is it?
Many years ago, a friend of mine, he had a Porsche GT, and he was looking to. He said, always fancy something American.
Yeah.
So I was scared high and low, and I found him a RT10 converted, which was the original Gen 1's RT10 Rally Tourer, road and track, soft top. So anyway, we got that 2001. We took that down to Le Mans. Really great car, 400 brake horsepower, and so driving it down there at Le Mans was absolutely fantastic. And it was a few more years where I had to save some money, and then eventually I managed to get hold of a GTS, which is what I wanted. GTS, Grand Touring Sport, Dodge Viper.
What a car!
So,
and, I mean, this is in its race guise, isn't it?
Yeah, this is in the race car. So this is a replica of the Oreca cars, and this is actually not from the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This is from the American Le Mans series.
Yeah, I know.
Now they raced cars at Le Mans, but the cars that raced at Le Mans were numbers 51, 52, and 53. When racing in the American Le Mans series, they ran in under the numbers 91, 92 and 93. So here we are. So there's one UK member that's got a replica of the 91 Oreca car. So I thought, well, he's done 91, so I'll do 92.
You'll do 92.
So that's where we're at. And now we've also got another French member that's done the 93 car as well. So it would be really nice for all three of us to get together at some point for a photo.
Wow, what a car. It's been absolutely amazing. Mark Kidman, thank you so much for spending a bit of time telling us a bit about this beautiful, beautiful car.
And I'm hoping you're all enjoying your day at the London Classic Car Show.
We are. Thanks, Mark. bumped into an old friend of the player. This is Richard Baxter. Richard, lovely to see you again.
Hi, indeed.
And the reason I say he's an old friend is if you've ever watched any of the player videos, one of the greatest videos we ever did, in my opinion, was Richard's E-type Jag. And if you click up over Richard's head now, there, you'll see that interview. Go and have a look at it. It's a really good interview, isn't it?
Yeah, we did it at Hanbury Manor.
At Hanbury Manor, it certainly was. But today, you have this amazing bit of kit. Tell me a bit about it.
Okay, so this is my race car toy.
Your race car toy.
And I came across this car 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And apart from the E-types,
I know you've got the E-type.
The BMW M3s. They're an amazing driver's car.
Stunning bit of kit.
Stunning piece of kit.
Was it like this when you bought it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So it was all done, all badged and...
Yes, more or less. There are a few tweaks that I've made to the car, but so
this is a real race car?
It's a real race car.
Right.
And the driver of the race car in the series, it raced in the series called the German DTM.
German touring car?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they call it the Deutsche Touring Meisterschaft.
Yeah. He loves the Germans, even though we're not in Europe anymore. But
and
we still love them.
We do, and absolutely. And the thing I particularly liked about this car...
I've got to stop a minute. Do you remember those two guys on the Muppets? That's how I feel at the moment. Yeah? There's a lot of people around us watching this. I just feel like, I'll do the... Sorry.
I did Muppets, yeah.
Please carry on. And I'm not going to touch your car this time. You've seen all the comments that I got for putting sticky fingers on cars. So have you noticed I put my hands in my pockets?
Yeah, but a race car you can because it's always scratched and marked. No.
Guys, stuff you. I'm going to touch the car because I feel more comfortable. Please carry on, Richard.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
So the nice thing about this car for me when I came across it was that Steve Soper was the race driver. It was his car.
Steve Soper, the British
guy.
Yep.
And as far as I know, up until that point, he was the only British driver who made the grade into the DTM.
Okay.
And so he was, and this car is one of the 3 works teams.
Right.
They made, there were 3 teams. There was Lindner, there was Schnitzer, and there was Zach Speed.
I love the way you remember all this. Go on.
And this one is a Zach Speed car. Each team had two cars, 2 drivers, and Steve Soper drove this car.
Amazing.
And he just got into the DTM his first year with a car of his own for the whole year. And with this car, he won 2 races,
right?
Both at the Nürburgring.
So it's been around the Nürburgring?
Well, raced at the Nürburgring, and also Zach Speed were based at the Nürburgring. And so all his testing was carried out on the Nürburgring. And I've got all the test data sheets of him taking the car out, temperatures.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
You say you bought this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something you're going to find advertised in Car Weekly, or is it?
No.
How did you find it?
I came across this because through the club, there's a guy who was involved with race cars. That's his passion.
Right.
And he's the guy to go to.
We got it?
Yep.
There we go. So we're going to have to hold it because obviously being a race car, it doesn't have a bonnet stay.
There's no stay.
There's no stay on it, but come and check this out. Richard, explain a little bit. What is this under here?
Okay, so the engine in the DTM car of this period, because each year they changed. This year was a 2.3 litre engine, and it had twin fuel injectors.
Okay.
It hasn't got the correct trick engine from 1989. It's gone.
Yeah, I suppose they kept the engine.
No, it's who knows? This stuff it slides down the food chain.
Yeah, disappears somewhere off the
Maybe
back.
the engine blew up. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But so this one is not the original, but it's just something that when you bought it was in here.
Yeah, when I bought it, he was the guy I bought it from, a chap called Alex Elliott.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable guy. He said, don't get a race engine because A, they're very unreliable, hard to keep in tune, and what you want is a kind of hybrid engine that will give you some of the race car power, but not all the hassle of rebuilds and everything else. So the trick engine, which with these 2 fuel injectors, one here, and another one where they are now, was putting out about 330 brake horsepower.
Wow.
This one is probably about 305, but it's durable.
It's still fast enough. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's amazingly fast. It's only 20,
off the
20
mark,
horsepower.
what will it do?
I don't know. Do you know, I've got no idea. Probably 0 to 60 might be, depending on the gearing,
Yeah.
might be around about 4 seconds, something like that.
We're up on the balcony level.
Yeah,
How did you get it up here?
yeah. through those roller blinds. Other side, car lifts.
It's very clever. Because when you're up here, you think, where do they get all these cars up here?
But I had to push this one because
Oh, you had
we can't start
really
that
want
up
to start
here.
that up there.
It'd be fun to do it, wouldn't it? Can you
Why don't
imagine
we
dropping
do
battery
that?
in?
Let's take this down to a track one day.
Yeah.
And we'll invite you down to come and watch Richard.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
think
no, it'd be
that
great.
would be amazing. And at the same time, we can talk about your other cars because I know you've got a passion for some of these.
Yes.
Not just BMs.
Well, the other thing we could do, because whenever I take this on track,
Yeah.
people just come around it because they love it as well.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And there's a spare seat, so we can give someone a lift around and give them a ride.
guys, there's an opportunity there for a competition. So what we might do at the end of this, Richard and I are going to discuss something because I'm not going to put him on it live now, and let's just decide how we're going to run a little competition that you can enter to win a drive or a ride, not a drive. We're not going to let them drive it. A ride in this car around one of the British racetracks. So we'll have a think about that. So skip to the end or watch the rest of the video and answer the question at the end. You never know. You might be in a car with Richard. God help you. Thanks, Richard.
Pleasure.
Been a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Richard Baxter, everybody. Thank you. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look around the rest of the show. Here we are on the Ferrari owners stand and with a lovely gentleman called Ralph. And
Hi there.
Nice to meet you, Ralph.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Oh, very good.
Excellent.
Standing in front of one of Ralph's cars, which is this one. We'll talk about it in a second. Ralph, what involvement do you have with the Ferrari Owners Club? What brings you here today?
Well, actually, I met Pete, who kind of runs the whole thing, a while ago. We were just actually parked next to each other.
Okay.
And he's got a Ferrari, I've got a Ferrari. We started chatting, what can you say?
Yeah.
And then he said, why don't you come along to one of the meets, which I did. And you meet up with all these other guys and ladies who obviously have a love for Ferrari. And not only do you enjoy looking at the cars, but actually pick up lots of little tips and things that save you money, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've saved a lot of money with silly things. In fact, the silliest one of all, I didn't know how to clean switches on Ferraris. Most people, what they do is they send them off and it costs thousands of pounds.
Right.
Actually, you get Dunlop guitar cleaner, which costs £2.99 off the internet, and it cleans them perfectly. Beautiful. £2.99. There you go.
There you go. How to save money with
I
Ralph.
saved money, yeah. Dunlop guitar.
Ferrari have just put a big cross against you.
I know, they hate me.
Next time Ralph turns up, tell him he can't get his car this month.
There we go.
Ralph, tell me a little bit about this car that we've got here.
The funny thing is that my wife knows that I like fixing things.
Right.
Okay, so we were on holiday, we're lying in the sun lounger and I'm looking at a magazine and I can see a picture of a car, and it's a racing website,
Okay.
and in the background of one of the photographs there's some boxes and I see a little bit of red,
Yeah.
and I think that's a Ferrari.
Because you knew it was Ferrari red.
Yep, so I rang them up and it's a company called Walker's Motorsport, and I said, hi, in the background of your picture, what is that? And they said, oh, it's an old Ferrari that belonged to a guy called Richard Pryor. Now, I didn't know who Richard Pryor was, but apparently he is absolutely brilliant at hill climbing.
The god of hill climbing.
He is the god of hill climbing Ferraris. He's just like, he's as famous as David Beckham.
Yeah.
But of course, I know nothing about hill climbing, so unfortunately I went, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, who is this guy?
So I said, any chance I can have a look at it? And they said, sure, it hasn't moved for a couple of years.
Right.
So I went to the garage when we got home, went up, they pulled all the boxes off it, had a look at it,
And this thing appeared.
and this is underneath. It started first time,
No.
and I looked at it, it was really, really ropey, and I
Right.
said to the guys, will it be really easy to restore this? And they said, yeah, a few quid, don't worry about it, it'll be
few
perfect.
quid.
And it's the old story. They put it on a trailer, brought it to London. They put it on the ramp, and the guys at the garage looked at it and went,
Oh my God.
"Oh my God!" They said two things, Ralph. First thing is, this is Richard Pryor's car, because they knew him. And the second thing is, it's not going to cost a couple of £1,000.
No.
They said this is a very famous car, and I said, "Oh, why?" And they said, "Send Richard an email." So they gave me all these details.
Yeah.
He'll tell you all about it. So I sent him an email, and Richard Pryor sent me PDF files, photographs, everything, every single race, every single track.
Of this car?
Of this car, yeah. I've got, every single race, every single split time, practice times.
Wow.
All the other cars that were in the races, all the circuits it was at, and it went on and on and on and on and on. So he sent me this all by email, and I just couldn't believe somebody had all this information. It's bonkers.
Incredible.
So I was
And you're actually talking to Richard?
yeah, this is the actual guy. So he said, "Ralph, to be quite honest, it's probably not worth fixing because it's going to cost you too much money to do."
Oh.
But the thing was that there's two types of cars that kind of make me feel a bit queasy. One is the one that's done 1,000 miles
Right.
and 30 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
What is the point?
Yeah.
Right? And the
No
other
one's
thing
enjoyed it.
is the one that actually has been used for what it was designed.
To race.
Racing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then someone says, "Let's scrap it."
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, when someone says Sterling Moss went round, Le Mans in a 250 GT, and that car's coming up for sale, no one says, "Oh, how many miles has it done?" What they want to know is about its race wins.
Very
So when
good
I said
answer.
to Richard Pryor, "Tell me about it," he said, "Well, I've raced a lot of cars over 20 years or so."
Yeah.
He said, "I had that one for 7 years. The lowest it ever came for the whole series, so I'm talking about the whole year, not just one race, the whole year, was third. For 3 years it was second, and it won it 3 years, which I think makes it the most successful Ferrari Pirelli hill climb car of all time."
Yeah.
I've got someone who is very, very different,
Yeah,
but
come on.
really, really interesting. And this one is actually a mystery. And actually, no, it really is a mystery. So back in, shall we go over here?
Yeah, we'll go this way.
Back in the late 90s, Ferrari obviously wanted to replace the Testarossa,
Right.
and they did it with the Ferrari 550 Maranello,
This is a car.
which is a nice car. However, there's a chap you might have heard of called Michael Schumacher,
I remember
and he said,
Yep.
"I want one as my daily car." Okay.
Right, okay.
So they
No.
said,
No.
so they said, "What would you like, Michael?" So Michael, and in fact Ferrari have written a book on this. There was actually a book. Michael said, "I want my car to have these features. I want it to have an internal roll cage." Now remember, this is 1998. Okay.
Right, yeah.
He said, "I want it to have carbon fibre seats like I've got in my Formula One car."
Oh, wow. Guys, come around here and
Got
come
it.
and have a look inside
Okay.
here. You've got to see this.
So remember, this is 22 years ago. Okay.
22 years and got
Right.
carbon fibre
So carbon fibre seats like in my Formula One car, carbon fibre sails, even carbon fibre on the handbrake. I wanted to have carbon fibre gear knob, carbon fibre centre console, even round the dials I want carbon fibre. He said, so this one has got the Fiorano race package, it's got different suspension, it's got different brakes, it's got different exhaust system. I keep finding out new things that are different about this because Ferrari guys keep going, where did you get this? So the answer is nobody really knows though how many of these there are.
But you're not telling me this was Michael Schumacher's car.
What happened was this.
Sorry, I'm
So-
jumping ahead here. I'm so excited.
So nobody really knows.
Right.
But the thing is that I have only found 3 the same as this, okay? One was owned by Ferrari, and it was on the Ferrari stand for Paris. It was on the Ferrari stand, I think, for the UK. It was on the Ferrari stand for America and Frankfurt motor shows, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And it's the only one that's specced up with all this stuff here. And it was in silver, and Ferrari gave me that picture, and it's in the background, but Ferrari don't talk about Michael, okay?
Yeah.
So that's that. Next thing is, Ferrari Sweden had one, and it's red with cream, and this one is black. So it's 3 cars, all same
Silver,
spec,
Red.
but all different colours.
Yeah.
So when I rang Sweden, I said, listen, can I ask you a question? What's the chassis number? And they went 113161. And I said, that's really weird because mine is 113162.
Oh my
And they
God.
went, oh. So I said, I wonder
What
if
the other one
Michael
is.
went in and said, I want a car, but I don't want, a normal one.
Yeah.
Hence Ferrari making the book.
Yeah.
So Michael then turns up. They've made some. Now, considering there was about 6 colours,
Yeah.
we think probably what they may have done is made 6 for him, and he went along and said that one, and then the other 5 they sold off to big clients.
Gotcha.
Or
Or-
it's just that the first people that bought them spec'd them up the same as Michael's. They said, what did Michael have? They went like this, and he
want
said,
that.
I want this exactly the same. So they did this one. There's another 2 that I've heard of, and I have for years been asking, and in fact this month's Ferrari magazine, the Owners Club magazine, it's got a whole page article saying, please, if anybody knows anything about the car,
Anything about this car, yeah.
this car or any other Schumacher cars, can they give us a shout? So a couple of years later they copied this car and they called it the WSR car, which we know about. They made 33, 10 came to Britain, 1 was written off, there's 9 left, but they were all silver and they were all right-hand drive, okay?
Yeah.
So Ferrari, the only information they would give me about this, apart from details about the carbon fibre, etc., is they said no Schumacher right-hand drive cars were ever made. That's an interesting thing to say to someone.
Left-hand drive car.
Why no right-hand ones? It doesn't make sense unless they were only made for somebody who wanted a left-hand drive.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows. I'd be desperate if somebody knows, contact the Ferrari Owners Club, because as they were desperate to find out. But as it stands, there are 3. There are normal cars where somebody say has got maybe a race seat, or somebody has maybe put a roll bar in it,
Yeah.
or somebody might have put a little bit of carbon fibre in it. But in terms of the full thing, this one's got everything.
It's amazing.
So it's not a Ferrari Schumacher edition, which was the 456.
Yeah.
This is actually called a Ferrari Schumacher Options 550.
Love
okay?
it. Options.
Options 550, and it's extremely rare. So I'm desperate to find out some more information. Sadly, though, the Ferrari magazine has been out not just in Britain, but it gets sent out worldwide. This is how rare it is. That has been out, a full page saying, please, can anybody tell us anything about this?
And nothing.
Responses, none.
If you're out there and you're watching this and you know anything about this car, then drop me a line on the comments below. That's easy to do. And then I'll pass this on to Ralph. Not a problem. Ralph, before we leave you, you were going to tell me something. What's your everyday car that you drive?
I
gotta be
don't
something
actually drive. I cycle a lady's 15-year-old bike with a basket on the front and kind of semi-flat tyres.
Yeah, okay, we believe you.
That's
what
true.
do you drive?
No, I've got an Audi.
You got an Audi?
A Q7. I got 2 horrible, noisy kids, and my wife shouts at me. So
and a lady's bike with a basket.
But actually, the ladies' bike with the basket is what I'm on every single day. Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely brilliant. Ralph, you're a
Okay.
proper character. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Hopefully that was
Lovely
interesting.
to meet you. It was very interesting. There you have it, guys. Ralph from the Ferrari Owners Club.
Here's a little competition for you. The opportunity to sit as a passenger in this car, and we're going to go around a British racing circuit. To answer the question for the competition is, what were the full race results of this car in its year of competition?
There you have it, guys. This was the London Classic Car Show, and we've had a fantastic day. We've done some great interviews, we've seen some amazing cars, and hopefully we'll be invited back next year. Don't forget, if you like what you're watching, subscribe and comment and give me a thumbs up whenever you get a chance. Catch you next week.
Love that Jaguar Classic. You get really involved with the events and running cars and events, and we touched them on.